Welcome to Chips and Salsa, where we talk about security at Intel. I'm Jerry.
I'm Krobe.
Hey, Crow, we got a great show today. We're talking
I
with
know.
Shai Safarti about this cool technology that I don't think a lot of people are aware of called Data Fortify.
Let's see more. Hello. Could you introduce yourself and maybe explain your role here at Intel for us?
Hi, sure. My name is Shai. I'm a principal offensive security engineer. I'm a part of a security research group in Intel named IPAS, but my mainly focus is a working group that is focusing on Intel Silicon Root of Trust, and that's the CSC and the CSME and some other project in that area. So my main role in Intel is how to solve and innovate in new ways to get the great attend that we see in the market today in the main OSs, in the main core OSs, like Windows and Linux, all this great feature of security, but into firmwares. Because in firmwares, we don't have the capacity of performance of the CPU or storage or even enough runtime memory. So we need to innovate on those areas and to make sure that we can introduce to those low level environment the same security features that we can benefit from in the firmware's world.
And just for our viewing audience, can you remind us what CSE and CSME stands for?
Sure. So CSC is a convert security engine. That's the chip itself inside of the PCH itself that actually verify the sequence of the boot before the actual CPU begins to run. It verifies that the flash content is signed by Intel and then start the chain of secure boot sequences. This is making him the secure root of trust of the entire platform.
Awesome. So today we're here to talk about Data Fortify, which you're going to tell us about. But before we talk about the technology itself, can you tell us what prompted the research behind it?
Sure, yeah. So actually, it's very interesting because we actually, in the world of security, usually seeing bugs that are related to the same bugs again and again. Meaning, if you're going to see in the C language, you're going to see the same repeated bugs in the same APIs like mem copy, string copy, and so forth.
Mhm.
And they're always surfing up in the areas. And so we saw this bug not only in Intel, but also in all vendors. If we're going to look on cars, there is over 100 computers in those area, and we need to have a way to block them. So although we are shipping new type of technologies like Intel CET, that's the way that we have shadow stack and function pointer integrity. Those technology actually prevent from hijacking a control flow. So what else is need to be done is the thing that trigger my work. I started looking what else after the control flow. What is the next type of attacks that people going to use those vulnerabilities and create still exploitation to our environments. So there is a new world of coming research named data-oriented attacks, meaning they're going to corrupt the data itself in a way that will not hijack the control flow,
Mhm.
but the attacker can use the data itself in a sophisticated way to change the internally of the application, and because of that, to create a different type of uh, machine state.
Mhm.
So this is what got me to work on this new research is mainly on the data attack oriented exploitation, and that's coming in the
Hmm.
ways.
That's really interesting. I'd never heard of that style of attack. Uh, so, Data Fortify addresses this class of attacks. How does it solve these issues?
Well, data attack is limited on where you want to corrupt the data itself.
Mhm.
So if we will prevent the corruption from actually occurring in those places that I mentioned, like mem copy, string copy, to prevent it from occurring in the first place, then we can actually prevent the data attack from occurring.
Mhm.
So this is where data Fortify is coming. It's giving the ability to get in runtime the original size of the buffers and correlate them with the actual input they're getting.
Mhm.
And if they're not correlating, you cannot proceed.
So I know we talked about classes of attacks like ROP or ROP, things like that. So there's obviously tremendous benefit in just about every technology application here. Can you give us some specific examples of where Data Fortify is going to help customers stay secure?
Yeah, sure. So, for example, in our case scenario, when we look on all the CSE product and CSME, all the places that we had issue in the past, we found, for example, when we started in the beginning of this research, is that 70% of all found issue internally and externally in the past that were related, for example, for heap overflow, were related to mem copy. And because of this new mitigation, they are all now blocked, meaning they cannot be used, and the risk is now reduced to the customers, and they will not be impacted in any way when this type of attack will occur.
So can you give us a? I think you mentioned cars have all these computers. How is Data Fortify going to help that application?
So the Fortify is a way that everybody can use it, and we believe that you can apply it in every technology. So if it would be used, for example, in cars, let's say Tesla had a public paper in the past that a Keen team has provided that they exploited a Wi-Fi stack that
Mhm.
caused stack overflow due to a mem copy. So if it would be used over there, all cars that even though that they had that bug in it, it will be blocked and you cannot get into a risk area of saying, "Oh, now I owning your car because you have a buffer overflow." No, all we're going to get is you're blocked, and you're going to get a trigger saying this copying cannot be occurred right now. Move on to the next whatever exception handling you have for that function.
Mhm.
So, for example, if Keen Team would have found that bug during the time that the Data Fortify would exist in the Wi-Fi stack they had, they wouldn't had any exploitation whatsoever.
That's pretty awesome. So, could you share with us what Intel platforms that have Data Fortify available now?
So, of course, right now we shipped it already out of the box with Alder Lake
Hmm.
CPUs. That's a
Okay.
12th gen. But we actually thought that it's very important technology to be available also for backward compatibility as well.
Hmm.
So we decided also to apply it in all firmware updates for the latest Ice Lake, Comet Lake, and Tiger Lake as well.
Ooh,
How would you, like, just in one sentence? How would you uh, describe Data Fortify and the benefit to the world?
Okay, so the main benefit to the world be is it's so important technology that is not only specific to architecture technology, but easy to apply to any architecture. So because of that, that we know it's a game changer to the security world, we want to publish and influence everybody to make
mhm.
security better in all products and not only Intel.
Yeah, and I know that when you and I were talking before, you mentioned this technology is awesome for applications where it's hard to apply security updates, right?
Yeah. So like yeah, we saw that also in security updates, it's very hard to get to those points like ours. So
Mhm.
you do want to make sure that you have some protection in runtime that will prevent corruption. And this is one of those protection that goes to all those low-hanging fruit bugs that usually security researchers are looking for and eliminates them.
Huh.
Yeah, so they're looking for that opening to get in the door, so to speak, and Data Fortify is closing that off.
Yeah, so There are many doors, of course, and many complexity, but there are the entry level that every security researcher finds when he starts on a product. And those are the places of the mem copy, string copy, all those linear API that repeats again and again throughout the entire time I'm working on security. It's always mem copy, it's always string copy, it's always those functions again and again. So why not blocking them first?
Yeah.
And this is what we've done is blocking first those simple level API, and we actually add those functionality to custom APIs that also working in the same manner like memcopy. So we have more protection in other areas as well.
hmm This is super fascinating. So, where could I or customers learn more about how to implement this?
So because we want to share it with the public, and it's an important technology, we decided to go public white paper on it, and you can download it on into website. And maybe over here you're going to add a link
We
to this
will.
white paper. Yeah, and you can just go ahead and read the entire details how everybody can apply this technology to their system.
Well, this is awesome because this is the reason why we're doing the show here. Try to get the word out because I don't think a lot of people have heard of this yet. So we're going to try to get the word out. Um,
Great.
so, Shai, we appreciate your
Thank
time
you.
coming on the show and talking about Data Fortify, which is an awesome new tech from Intel, available on multiple platforms. So, what is next for you and your team?
So my team is right now researching fault injection, meaning
Ooh,
lasers on the chip itself, and how to prevent those type of attacks. Only not with hardware type of attacks, but software defense. So hardware defense is costing a lot of money to invest, and we don't have to create those mitigation in faster and software until the hardware will be ready. And this is the entire industry right now. The entire industry right now is moving more to software solution based because hardware is less efficient in that area because you need to solve hardware bugs that are not bugs. Someone is shooting a laser at your chip, and then you say,
yeah, not so much a bug.
oh, a bug when I don't have a bug. Someone is introducing a fault inside of my flow. So there is a lot of effort over here, and we're creating a new solution that will prioritize the authentication flows against fault injection and so
Mhm.
forth with a special laboratory we have in Intel that working with us to measure this solution and making sure that we are compliant with the fault injection model that we decided to work with.
Well, thank you for coming and talking to us today, Shy. I'm really excited about Data Fortify and these lasers. I'd like to protect myself against those for sure. But and thank you for your time and all your work.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wow! I didn't think I'd wake up today and learn and hear about lasers, Jerry. This is some cool stuff.
Yeah, well, I think customers should be aware that Data Fortify kind of solves a whole
Heck
class of
yeah.
attacks that have just been low hanging fruit and plaguing the industry for a long time now. So again, we invite customers to take a look at the paper and figure out how you can employ that in your fleet or in your systems. And thank you, Shai, for joining us. And until
Thank you.
next time, we'll see you later.